How you doing, people? Robert here, aka Robess, Anti-Corruption Scotland. I'm going to do this video. For all the years that I've been doing this, exposing the corruption in the corporations, I'm going to put a video up. A man known by the name of Billy formatted and did himself. He'd done it a long time ago, but I think it's now relevant to put this up because it breaks down everything about corporations. Everything I've talked about, the government, the police, the councils, social services, etc., etc. Well, this video covers far more that I've not talked about. And it's important, I think, to put this video up and show the people, and hopefully they'll pay attention and share this information, because everything is a corporate entity, people. Corporations registered in Dun and Bradstreet, including the Church of Scotland, Church of England, working pensions, Job Centre Plus. There's a lot of stuff on this video that you should. The video is about 24 minutes long, and it's required of the people to pay attention and see what's happening. As I said before, the United Kingdom is a fiction. It does not exist. There is no country called the United Kingdom. Everybody has been deceived and lied to relating to that. Britain is the landmass. The landmass is real. The landmass is when you can stand on the road, stand on grass, walk along the pavement. That's the landmass. Fictions have no life. They're dead speak. Entities don't exist. So what I'm going to do is put this video up, and you'll see yourself everything is not what it seems. And hopefully, because of what's happening today in today's world, people will now start paying attention. All these people in the Scottish Parliament, Westminster Parliament, etc., etc., are working for corporate entities. The word government, as I keep telling you, the word politician, MSP, MP, is fictitious titles to escape liability, like everything else in the legal system, legal society. They're all paid liars, people, and it's time for you now to waken up. And this thing about digital ID, mandatory is not a law, it's a rule, and it's used a language, legalese, to trick the people to think it has authority when it does not. No man or woman, as I keep saying, in the legal system, legal society, has supreme claim or power over another man or woman, unless they're claiming that man or woman is their property, or their property is their property, or there's a contract in the private side or the corporate side. These people are acting in the commerce, the law, civil law, right? They're bound by these rules for civil law, including sheriff officers and the rest of them. But because we've got a legal system, legal society, it's committing conspiracy, commit fraud and wrongdoing, treason, misconduct in public office, and the people being suckered into believing that these men and women representing these entities have that authority is wrong. So anyway, people, I'm going to put this video up. Please share this information far and wide. There's no talking through the video, right? As you will see, but it's important that you pay attention, real attention, because this is the can of worms being opened. Anyway, thank you for taking time to watch myself explain this and let myself be heard. And thank again for everybody that shares information and follows myself on TikTok, YouTube and Facebook. Anyway, people, enjoy this video, pay attention, download this video and keep it, right? Because all the information's on it, right? There's a lot of names like under one banner, Yes Movement and other things that maybe still know these addresses, but they're still registered in Dun and Bradstreet, so they're still registered as private corporations, right? And if the corporation doesn't exist, it should be taken down in Dun and Bradstreet. And remember this, there's over 365 million companies on Dun and Bradstreet, right? And when you go to Dun and Bradstreet now, they've hid everything. You can't find the names of the politicians, and you're limited to what you can search for. They're hiding it, and they're now complicit in hiding the fraud against the people. Anyway, people, take care, be safe, and there's more videos to come soon. I'm going to get back on track because I've kind of slumped. Alright people, take care, bye bye.